You are now listening to the iWalter Show. Real talk about nothing.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird brain, it's a plane, it's iWalter. Yes, it's iWalter, strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. iWalter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who disguised as Walter Interranti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of iWalter.
All right, this is Walter from iWalter. I'm actually back again on Sunday at 2:46 a.m., January 17th, 2016. First off, I want to actually mention, I really want to thank, because I actually looked online. I look at my stats to see where I'm getting people who listen in, and actually, it's been a while since I got anybody listen in from Europe. I generally do. I can't remember exactly where. But actually, it was kind of interesting to get somebody from France. I've gotten them from other countries, not lately, so this has been a while since I got at least one listener or whatever from the other side of the pond, so to speak. So, yeah, that was very cool. So I do look at that stuff, and I appreciate when I get somebody who actually listens. You know, hey, I appreciate anybody who listens to me from Pennsylvania or United States, but if I get them from Europe or, Western Europe, some other country, I think it's really cool. So I just want to mention that. So I do follow that stuff. Yeah, there's a couple things. Some more people died from cancer, celebrity-wise. One was somebody I'll read later on, Bob Denver. He played Gilligan on Gilligan's Island. He also played on this other show I was watching for a while. I bought the box set of all the seasons. And it was a show called Dobie. I think it was called Dobie. I didn't even put that one up, but it was a show, black and white, Bob Denver. He was, much younger. He looked like the character from Scooby-Doo, actually. Let me see if I can find that one. It was something like that. I think it was called Dobie TV series. Let me see. But, yeah, Bob Denver played this character. Yeah, Many Loves of Dobie Gillis. And Bob Denver was actually on that. He was really young. He did look like the guy from Scooby-Doo, the one with Scooby-Doo that took care of the dog. He looked pretty much like the same type of person, but, real person, Bob Denver. Yeah, and then that was kind of shocking, but somewhere in my mix, I'll read it later on. Celine Dion, she lost her husband, who was much older than her. He was like twice her age, but he died from cancer just the other day, and now just heard yesterday that her brother died of cancer as well now. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's a way of God, preparing us for something, with what's going on in the Middle East. I don't know. That's just my speculation because, it's my religious belief, too, that maybe it's a way that it is coming towards the end, so to speak, with these holy wars. I'm going to take a swallow real quick. I actually really do like my new setup, by the way. I'm sorry, I'm checking because I have my setup on the side now on this laptop I was experimenting with. This quality of sound on the Windows machine sounded actually a tad bit better than anything I've ever gotten doing it on my Mac. I don't understand why. My Mac is actually a much more powerful, so to speak. So anyway, I actually have, just to give people a heads up, an interesting speculation on the actor who plays Kylo Ren, who was on the TV show called Girls. And also, I had another thing. I'm just going to move my mic a little bit. Hopefully I don't mess it up. He must have been on Saturday Night Live, and he does this. I'll mention if there's anything else. The actor plays undercover boss Kylo Ren as an undercover boss. I think it was Saturday Night Live is what I saw. And it was actually really funny. I was actually kind of laughing out loud, so to speak, watching it. He did a really good job. So I'll read this stuff in order, and I have other things in the mix. Something about, I guess people are wanting something with the PG-13 or something on Deadpool because it's getting a rated R rating. I was hoping it would get an NC-17, so I'm not happy about the rated R, but I'd be really pissed if it got a PG-13. If you want to do that, make sure that's clear from the one I'm going to be watching when it comes out. Anyway, January 15th, they just mentioned. I was kind of shocked because I thought that show was really bad. Scream Queens, and I thought they kind of quickly, abruptly try to finish it out because they said the show was not going to be brought back for another season. They actually were considering canceling after the first couple episodes because it was so horrible. So anyway, here's something I found tonight on TeenVogue.com. Scream Queens will be back for a second season, believe it or not. This does not mean that does this mean Harry Styles will guest star? Have no clue who the guy is. If you wanted to plead Kappa on and become a bona fide member of Scream Queen's crew yourself, you're fresh out of luck. The channels and their cronies left sorority at the end of the season, only to be locked up in a mental institution. But now season 2 just got a green light with explanation points, and though the creator Ryan Murphy is famous for his non-linear season plots, we might be closer to Kappas than you think. It says season 2 will take place in a hospital where some most fascinating and bizarre medical cases are under observation, and while we don't know if Emma Roberts, Billy Lord, is that Lord, and the rest of the OG cast will return, Leah Michaels did us one dream casting scenario that we really, really hope comes true. Harry Styles. So again, I have no clue. Now, BRB, as we celebrate the news that Scream Queens is returning, becoming, dare we say it, we dare, we literally are screaming. So you got to remember the people who do Scream Queens also do American Horror Story, which changed their storyline every year. And they obviously, because that's where they picked up Leah Michaels. Is that Leah Michaels? Did I say her name right? Yeah, Leah Michael, which I actually liked her better on Glee. There's the same people responsible for all 3 shows. So it looks like they're going with the tactic, though, of American Horror Story, where the situation will change year to year. Ironically, though, I think the second season of American Horror Story was actually in a mental state hospital. It looks like they're going with the hospital theme for the second season of Scream Queens. So they're not making anything that incredibly new. Honestly, I think that personally, I thought that American Horror Story has been going downhill. I love Lady Gaga. I thought her acting was horrendous, actually. I love her otherwise as an entertainer. I just didn't like her in her acting. Now, I've seen her in other film, short bits in films. Like, what was that Sin City, and her short little part was perfect, and she actually did a pretty damn good job. She didn't have much to recite, but she did a good job. Giving her a whole season of a show was just, her acting to me felt really flat. Hey, she's a great singer. She's got an incredible voice for singing, but I just don't think she has what it takes to become a good actor. It's nothing against her because I love her, but, I'm just saying. The show was horrible. Scream Queens actually was horrendous, but at least the actors were really good. So you go from one scenario to the other. And honestly, American Horror Story has just gotten progressively worse. Scream Queens just started out being just really horrible. and disturbingly bad. And what is it? Glee was the only show that was remotely promising, and I got kind of lost touch of watching it, not because I got tired of watching. I just got tired of waiting when they went on season breaks all the time. So I don't know what to say about that. Alrighty, I actually have this up now about the actor Bob Denver dies. Now, here's the thing. Again, he died of cancer. So Bob Denver, who portrayed the goofy castaway Gilligan on the 1960 TV show Gilligan's Island, made his iconic figure to generations of TV viewers as he died at the age of 70. And it does say, though, he died a Friday at a Wake Forest University Baptist Hospital in North Carolina, which I didn't know that's my brother lives, one of them, of complications from treatment that he was receiving for cancer. His agent, Mike Estet, told the Associated Press on Tuesday. All right, I'm just keeping an eye on my thing. I'm turning away because I got to re-log in to make sure my levels are okay on my thing, because it locks out now, too. So that's when my head kind of turned away. Yeah, they talk about Gilligan's Island, though, but, you know, I hate to say it, again, he was known for that show called Dobie, he was really good on there, because he didn't play such a goofy character. It was a little slapstick, but, yeah, actually, now they do mention in this article, Dwayne Hickman's Dobie in The Many Loves of Dobie Gillis, which aired on CBS from 1959 to 1963. I think that was a much better show, personally. Gilligan's Island was great, but the ones that everybody seems to remember the most are the ones in color, but the ones in black and white were actually just as equally as good. But I think his character gave him a little bit more of a promising outlook on who the person was, because he was like a hip character in that show of Dobie, and I kind of liked him better on that. I got to go back and watch that sometime. I do own them. I'm not going to get rid of those. I'm going to mention, when I get to the Kylo Ren stuff, I'm going to mention that because I went to Star Wars Disney store tonight. You might as well call it the Star Wars store. Anyway, a friend sent me earlier, mandatory.com, female patient says New York doctor ejaculated in her face. So that was from Todd Thomas. That was sent to me on January 15th. Yeah, unless it's Brazier's Hospital, you can't do that, according to Huffington Post. I know the place where I got the articles. I might have actually found that one. No, I think Todd sent that to me. A 22-year-old female patient has accused a prominent doctor at Mount Santa Hospital in New York of ejaculating on her with morphine, found her breast, and ejaculated on her face. Fondled her breasts. The woman told authorities she showed up to the hospital on the evening of January 11th because she had pain in her right shoulder. She said that David Newman gave her a shot of morphine despite the fact that the nurse had already done so. The woman said that while Newman was examining her back, she told him that she was experiencing pain on her right side of her chest, and it was at that point that he began fondling her breast. She said then he turned away from her face, and that's when he heard the sound, or she heard the sound of someone masturbating shortly before she felt the semen on her face. See, I don't know about this stuff. The doctor was 45 years old, by the way. It just, like, these stories just seem way too bizarre. I liked to think that, you know, these are for real, but, you know, the fact that the source is Huffington Post, I kind of have to take it with a grain of salt. I apologize. But, you know. Oh, and here's one I found. This is, like, really ridiculous. This is on Breitbart. Breitbart. Actually, they were meeting someplace, and God, I wish it was closer to home. I probably would have wanted the people from Breitbart were doing some, live, meet the people who are responsible for, the news leaks from that news source, which I really actually like them. Anyway, they got this new one up. It says, New York City will fine you $250,000 for misgendering a transsexual. I think that is really ridiculous. Did you call a transsexual person he or she when they prefer to be called Z? According to the newly updated anti-discrimination law in New York City, you could be fined in iWalter and $250,000. Okay, this article's like really long. So I'll just read. That was like a bullet point. Another one is some transgender and gender non-conforming people prefer to use the pronouns other than he, him, his, or she, her, hers, such as they, them, theirs, or Z or hair. That's just ridiculous. And they have a picture of, what do you call it up? Caitlyn Jenner, Bruce Jenner, I would call him, fine me to $250, but you can't bleed a stone, I hate to tell you. But that's just, like, really ridiculous. Like, no offense, that's just really pushing that envelope way too far. That's pushing that subject too far. So I'm not going to read any more, even though it is from a source I actually like, Breitbart. So I don't know. I just think that's ridiculous. Anyway, there was something I found, or I mentioned before, and yeah, they launched a petition for Deadpool to get a PG-13 rating. Again, I think that's just really ridiculous. You're not going to have any of the movie left when you're done. It will be like a 15-minute movie, by the way, by the time they get what they want out of it. Hey, you want to make another version, that's fine. Just don't destroy my version that I want to see. This was on comicbookresource.com. Petition launched for a PG-13 Deadpool cut. The course calling for an R-rated Deadpool film has been ringing loud for years. Even the movie star Ryan Reynolds made the hard R rating at a point of pride throughout the process of bringing the Merc with the mouth to the big screen. On Wednesday, it was finally revealed that all those prayers have been answered, and the MPAA has given the film a long-desired R rating. But the twist could only happen in the age of the internet. There's now a petition to get 20th Century Fox to hastily put together a PG-13 cut of the film so young fans could see it too. Well, no offense. You're going to really ruin the film. If you want to do it, that's fine, but you're going to have to release two versions. I prefer it got an NC-17, but that's obviously not going to happen. So I personally just think this is just ridiculous. The comic alone is not for children to read to begin with, so why are you going to change it just to sell a couple more tickets? If you want to, go ahead. Just don't make it release it as only one film. If you're going to do that, release it as two films, and I won't complain any longer. And I'm not going to sign that petition. I think that's just really ridiculous. That was up 10 hours ago, by the way. I'm going to open this up because I couldn't find it. It was an article on Supergirl, which actually looks really cool. There is actually a video, so I got to make sure to like and share this now once again because I thought I did. And it's another character that's kind of like played by an African American, but the character is actually a shapeshifter who is a Martian. So they're actually doing one with the actual character playing the character way he's supposed to look. And it's titled from comicbookresource.com, Watch Supergirl and Martian Manhunter Soar in Supergirl preview. Episode 10 of CBS Supergirl will focus primarily on the emergence of a new villain, Toyman. Henry, can't pronounce his last name. It's not Kevlar or whatever you call it, who plays Superman. It's some other guy. It's spelled now. If you can figure this out, let me know. It's his last name. His first name's Henry. C-Z-E-N-Y is the way you spell out this person's last name. It was going to be the villain. But that's not the only story thread to be followed, as two new preview clips from the show reveal Kara, Melissa Bonist, she really does a great job, will be receiving some flight training from the Martian Manhunter, David Harewood. He's really good, too. While Lucy Lane, Jenna Dewan Tatum receives an unexpected offer from the cat Grant Casta Flockhart. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool. I just like the show. I find it very entertaining to watch. So, especially in these superhero things, this is only one I actually really, so far, have liked in this coming season. Speaking of which, I brought that up since I'm on the TV line. I'm going to see if I can do this now. Make sure this thing doesn't shut down. I can't find, I told my friend Matt the other day, there were some shows that just came out, some sitcoms, and they are really disturbingly bad, awful, and they're actually, at least I found 2 of them, because I think I got one from Amazon Prime, which I don't have up, and they, the first episode deal, they were free, so I figured I'll check them out for new shows. One was Superstore, and Superstore I actually thought I would really like. In fact, I did at first because it has that actress America. America is the girl who played Ugly Betty. Now, that was one series I really liked. I watched part of it. I put it away for a few years. I sold it off, rebought it, the whole entire series, and watched it. And once I was done watching it from beginning to end, and picked, not only picked up where I left off, I watched it from the very beginning. And I loved that show. It was incredible. So seeing her do this show is just... it's appealing to the lower common denominator in our society nowadays. And I thought at first it was kind of funny and it was kind of cool. But then they took the really low road, justifying the lower middle class and just the people who just really just want to live off of the government for the rest of their lives. And then her whole twist on, on her character is not that, but it is awful. And I mean, I'd be insulted because I love her. I love, her in Ugly Betty, but I just think this was like a really wrong move for her. Now, the other one, I don't think I have it listed. Like, again, there was like 2 or so, but it was really, really upsetting. Some show called Sisters. So it got like an incredible rating. The first episode was free. They're trying to get people, like, it's from Comedy Central. I'm going to see if I can put this one in. No, actually it wasn't called, was it called, it's something on Comedy Central. I'm thinking of the TV, Sisters. Let me put it under something else now. Sisters, Comedy Central. Sisters Helping Sisters. No, it's not the Tina Fey one, but it's something that has sisters in the name. Maybe it's called Stepsisters. Now I got to look for this because I hate to start something and just get it wrong. Let me look under Comedy Central because I can't find it at all. I hope that goes down like a wet balloon because it's like, it is like the worst show I've ever seen. It was actually pretty much embarrassing to watch. Even though it was free, it was like I was robbed of a half hour of my life watching this show. Like I wanted it back. I thought it was called Sisters. Maybe I'm wrong. But it had something like that. Here we go. Oh, okay. No, it is called Sisters, but it's called Idiot Sisters. And they're not sisters at all. Yeah, the pilot is free on Comedy Central. And honestly, it's like the worst show. And it just shows you what our society consists of nowadays. Because what it basically does is it justifies a person being a perpetual adolescent and basically sponging every penny off your parents past the age of 30 or 40, or at least past the age of 30. Because the premise of the show is this girl who has been under house arrest. they try to pass her off as a, what do you call it? As a kid in high school, but she's obviously, the character is not supposed to be that old. She just acts like she is. So there you go for that. I'm just trying to put it in right now because I want to see what this actress, what her age is. Idiot Sisters, YouTube, Idiot Sisters discography. But it is called, actually I was wrong. It's called Idiot Sitter. I'm sorry. So I thought it said Idiot Sister. So yeah, it's even worse. So I apologize because I got it wrong from day one. Yeah, thank goodness. Oh, wow. Rotten Tomatoes actually gave it an 86%. That's kind of really disturbing. Jillian Bell plays this idiot who their parents don't want to have anything to do with her. And Charlotte Newhouse, she's like not bad looking, but she plays a person who has to take care of this perpetually adolescent woman who lives at home and just basically thinks she's still in high school and can't even get a GED. So the show, to say the least, is very embarrassing. I'd be embarrassed to say I even did that show, but like I said, this is kind of scary because Rotten Tomatoes did give it an 88%. That's pretty, and a fresh percentage. That's like beyond scary. Now I'm curious because this Jillian Bell woman, comedian, the whole show is just disturbing because again, she was even trying to her parents go away for a couple weeks, leave her home. And I'm trying to see her real age. She's actually 31 years old. I kind of figured she was older than. But she, her parents try to pass her off on somebody else to take care of her. But the whole premise of her character is she plays an immature adult, an adult who still acts like she's in high school. And, and the sad thing is, though, Jillian Bell, her character is, the whole point of it is that she's throwing house parties, tearing the place apart. She can't even graduate high school. She's still in high school at age 31. Well, that's her real age. I don't know what the character thing is that she plays on this TV show called Idiot Sitter. But it is extremely disturbing, and the sad thing is, this is real life, though, unfortunately, where people feel like it's okay, and like it's funny because Jillian Bell's character, what is it? She pays off the student loans for the character of I got to look at her name again. Charlotte Newhouse, who plays this character named Billy. Jillian Bell plays this character called Jean Russell. Well, the thing is, it's really sad, though, is, her parents give her an allowance, I assume she might be playing the age she really is, which is like 30, 31. But, they hire a babysitter to take care of a grown woman because she doesn't know how to grow up. And this woman they get is, like, literally, I guess, the premise is she's an idiot. And what do you call it? This Jillian Bell's character, just to keep her in, as her, basically her glorified babysitter, pays off all her student loans on the first episode. I mean, it's just the whole premise is really disturbing. Parents who don't give a shit about a kid, who's a grown adult who acts like a kid, hiring a babysitter to take care of their grown kid who doesn't even know how to take care of themselves, and tries to dodge paying back their student loans. I mean, the whole thing, it's just one really bad freaking show. There's nothing good about it. And yet, it got that high of a rating. And, there's another show called Teachers. It's on that's premise of people who don't grow up. But I actually enjoy that one better than this one. This one is just justifying that, hey, you know what? It's all right if you want to act like a kid. That's what today's adults are. The new being 30-some years old is the new 18. And you know what that does then? You know what that's going to lead? I mean, I hate to say that. That's going to justify, oh, yeah, because there's a story in my mix. That's going to justify, oh, it's okay for women to have sexual relationships with 13-year-olds. Especially if you're a school teacher and you're held accountable for these children. I'm sorry, I had to point away for a second. You're just justifying the wrong behavior in life. I'm trying to look up this Charlotte Newhouse's her age. She's one of these people, actually. She won't give her age. There's always a way around that. So, and I will find it. Because sometimes they don't want people to know, so they don't get tagged. My guess is she's got to be in her 30s, too. Yeah. Things I don't really need to know about. They put everything else down about this other character, Charlotte. Age, size, height, weight, body measurements, and brow size. Like anything I really don't care about. I just wanted to know her age. But they're not. She's not having that disclosed. There's always a way to find out something. Well, my guess is she's probably in her 30s. But yeah, some actors do that because they don't want to, so they can actually play different ages if they don't look their age. But again, hey, that just justifies our society nowadays. Any way to get away of acting like an adult, they will do it. There's a couple profiles on this character of this Charlotte Newhouse, and you will not find her age. So she's keeping that completely, out of the picture. So, but I understand actors do that so they can get more roles. But I think nowadays it's just a way of a person not growing up. Also, if you're too afraid to admit to your age, I think there's a reason for that. Anyway, on another nonsense story I got from Todd, LaughingSquid.com. Filipino man sets world record for most lit candles extinguished by farting. That is no joke. That was on January 12th of 2016. Thank you, Todd Thomas, for that ridiculous article, but it is kind of funny. Here's a video for that. Gerard Jesse of the Philippines has set a new record-setting world record when he successfully extinguished 5 lit candles using only his farts. That is no joke, by the way. Here is one that's actually seriously wrong in a different way, and it really bothered me. It was the morning call. Refugees get warm welcome and donations from Allentown Syrian group. So there you go. Here's another thing of justifying these Syrian refugees, and again, most of them, or not most of them, there's enough in these mixes that they are been proven to be terrorists. So, no offense, you can justify and say this is excusable behavior, but this is really non-excusable behavior. This is in Pennsylvania. I will read the first paragraph. Maybe a little bit of another one. Late last year, Syrian refugees met with hostility across the world. Local leaders and residents rolled out the red carpet, no shock, hosting a welcome ceremony for 7 new Syrian families who settled in the Lehigh Valley. So I'm going to cut down to the chase of this one thing. Representatives from 6 of the 7 families who arrived last fall attended the event, where about $4,000 worth of donations were distributed. So there you go. We're bitching and complaining about how hard it is in our society. We got a plethora of people that are not working, and yet we're taking with open arms with the chaos we have in our society, our country. We have open arms and giving money out like it's like, hey, we got more money than we know what to do with, to these Syrian refugees, which have been nothing but problems in other countries. Look what happened to Germany. So I really don't want to read that. It was on the morning call. Anyway, my friend Todd got this from Inside Edition. I keep on pointing my head over. I have to. I just don't want to lose. So you're going to hear my voice go really slow like that. So I'm just doing that because I'm going to make sure I can look at my levels. Man shoots wife dead in flight over... Man... This was the headline news on Inside Edition. Man shoots wife dead in fight over who left on the coffee pot. This is no joke. An Illinois man is being charged for the murder of his wife allegedly because he allegedly shot his wife dead following an argument over a burnt coffee pot. Police in the town of Burrington were called to the home of Larry Lotz, 65, early Friday following a 911 call in which Lotz reportedly confessed to shooting his wife, Karen Lotz. Mrs. Lotz, 59, was discovered with critical injuries and rushed to an area hospital where she was later pronounced dead. She died. So there's more to that. I'll kind of just glance through it. Mrs. Lotz reportedly followed her husband to the office where she opened the door with a key, and then when police say Mrs. Lotz shot at her four times. Okay, maybe I got to go a little further back. I thought there was something I could kind of cut around this article. Obviously, no, that's not the case. Mrs. Lotz, 59, was discovered again with a critical injuries and rushed to an area hospital where she was later pronounced dead, reports say Chicago Daily Herald. Stephen Scheller of Lake County State Attorney's Office said Larry Lotz told police in a taped interview that the argument started when his wife began to nag him about leaving the coffee maker on. Anyway, I just had taken a swallow. And it says to read, a family of 12-year-old girl who was fatally shot by Constable blames father for her death. Oh, okay. So I apologize. This was a different story. There's two different stories. So the way they set this Inside Edition page up was not very well, the way they put the stories. They're different stories. So, yeah, that was just everything. He basically shot his wife because she kept on nagging him about leaving the coffee pot on. So he finally had enough and he shot her. And then she died later on. So, yeah, let me reread that because I even got myself a little confused. Yeah, he shot his wife. So I apologize. You can find that story. See, there's different stories because there's one right underneath about a 12-year-old girl who was fatally shot by her father. And there's other stories. So the way they lined them up was kind of goofy. So, yeah. Well, thank you, Todd, for that story, and I apologize for really screwing that up. Thank you, Todd, for this other goofy story from Bro Bible. Stop pissing all over the floor in the middle of the night with this toilet bowl night light, because why not? I don't know where he finds this stuff. It is kind of ridiculous, but hey, somebody's going to read it. And again, it was from brobible.com. You know what's lame? Thugging out ye old porcelain throne. You know what's not lame? Dropping bombs into a toilet that has been outfitted with an illuminated bowl, a nightlight for, your porcelain bowl, basically, your toilet. So it basically says, seriously, why not, aren't you pooping into a toilet with an LED light affixated to it yet? So somebody actually found this important that you should get basically an LED light, like a night light for the side of your bowl so you won't have to worry about stumbling in the dark to do your business. I don't know where he finds this stuff. I really don't. I just am amazed every time I see it. Anyway, I think Todd sent me this from PIX11. That seems to be one of his favorite pages, and I do use the stories because they are definitely, to say the least, without a doubt, very interesting. North Carolina couple takes on home intruder with a frying pan. An alleged home intruder busted into Fayetteville, North Carolina house and was met with an end of a frying pan. The couple said they were awakened by someone who came through a glass door in their den just before midnight on Thursday. Glenn Thu scurried to see what all the commotion was about when he came face to face with the man. Quote unquote, I hollered at him and he proceeded to come charging at me, trying to knock me out. We kind of locked horns and fought on the floor. Two told CNN affiliate WTVD. Two's wife ran into the den to help toss in the closet things she could find. To her husband, a frying pan, quote unquote. I think my wife hit him with a metal trash can a couple of times. Two said, quote unquote, and once I got the frying pan, I proceeded to give him a good dose of that. So this intruder did not make it out in one piece. This wasn't the only incident the intruder was allegedly involved in that night. Fayette police said that the 21-year-old man earlier attacked a mother who was waiting in her car in a church parking lot. An elderly man on the scene tried to intervene and then the attacker began beating him as well. It was only then the woman was able to reach for her gun and fire 2 shots, police said. Police say the suspect is facing several charges, including burglary and assault. So I apologize if I did not read that correctly, but the police say all victims were shaken up, but none were seriously injured. As for the frying pan, it might need a little bit of TLC. Last quote, the bottom is a little messed up, but I expect I can hammer it back down, to told WTVD. So this person, this assailant, or is it the assailant? The person who was doing all this attacks, apparently did it to at least 3 people that night. Like literally random, just going after people. Speaking of that, my friend Matt, I told you, he had to take me out yesterday, and I really do appreciate that. And we went to, over in Collegeville, we went to this bar. It's, oh, wow. You know what? I can't even remember the name now. God, I am drawing a blank. Champs. Well, it's CHAMPPS, because I know I have to spell it out. Yes, it is. And it is the one, I call it Collegeville pretty much. I think that's pretty much where it is. It's Provincetown Center, I believe, is the actual location. And it was nice. I went out, we got to meet up because we haven't talked in a while. And I had a couple sodas. That's all I drank was this plain Coca-Cola. And my friend Matt got something small. We just basically wanted to shoot the shit. We haven't talked in a while. And I told my friend Matt, because I just have really weak bladder and whatever, as I just had taken another swallow, bladder and bowels, to make it simple. And I said, Matt, I just want to go to the bathroom. Is that okay? He says, yeah, I'll just wait for you out in outside. So, he waited outside. So I go to the bathroom. It wasn't that many people. It was just ridiculous. There's just guys getting drunk, women getting drunk, trying to pick up the opposite sex, whatever, maybe the same sex. So I got to be politically correct on that, don't I? And it was fine, though. But I went in the bathroom. Nobody was in there. It was like, oh, okay, I just want to make sure I don't have any, reoccurring incidents where, I'm driving in the car. It was my friend Matt's car, and I have to say, hey, Matt, can you pull over? I really got to go to the bathroom right now. I wanted to avoid that like the plague. So I went in the bathroom. I'm sitting there. This guy comes in and who's a total mental case. I mean, he made me look normal. He was flying off the handle. He was screaming on the top of his lungs, like, no, or something like that, like repeating himself. And he was definitely had me so scared that he was yelling so loud that I was ready to call the police, 911, and say you need to you need to 302 this person this instance because I think my life is in danger. I told my friend Matt, and I don't think he had taken it too seriously because he knows I'll say stuff and exaggerate stuff sometimes. But this time I am not exaggerating at all. This man was very scary. I think after a while Matt actually did believe me because I did have to go to the bathroom. He says, well, you already have to go, didn't you go? And I said, dude, I was afraid for my life. This is where it gets really interesting. He was trying to break open the door to my stall. Like he was literally kicking it in. Thank God the door was really sealed. So you talk about being frightened because lately, hold on one second. I just had to take a swallow of something. And anyway, I read every day on my podcast about stories about people getting stabbed, people getting shot, people getting murdered in anywhere around the Norristown area. So here you got some guy who I would have blamed if something happened to me to the bartender, who the woman should have seriously stopped serving this guy, or they should take into account whoever works there that you got some really seriously dangerous people. I'm actually tempted to go back there and let them know at Champs that I was really scared. This guy was drunk, and for some reason there was two stalls, two bathroom stalls, and there was two urinals, but the guy was screaming and pounded on things, and then he just decided he saw one door closed, and he started trying to kick in the door. So these doors are really heavy duty, but I was never so scared for my life, and I'm not even kidding. So I am half tempted to go back and let Champs know, because here I know there was a guy that works there, a really great guy. He actually just got off duty. He was a supervisor, or a manager, I should say, for the Buffalo Wild Wings, and he actually did get a job as a manager at Champs. I am half tempted even today to go back, because it is Sunday morning, when I, later today, and let him know, listen, no offense, but nothing against him or Champs, but that really scared me. I really thought this guy was going to kill me, because he was, if he was, heavily intoxicated, and there's been issues where people have seriously gotten murdered in the morning hours. This was only at like 11, 12 o'clock, but who have gotten recently in Pennsylvania have gotten murdered or severely beaten up. And this guy, like I said, I didn't get a look at him, tried to kick in the door to the bathroom stall. He literally was kicking at it. So, I was never so scared in my life. I actually did not say a word. I kept my mouth shut, and he kept on continually kicking the door to the stall. So, what am I going to do with my pants down? And I'm trying to do my business. And, if I would have yelled at the guy, it would have got him even more angry. So I just kept my mouth shut. I kept my cool, but I was very scared. I really thought the guy was going to kill me. So he finally kind of I did not hear him, so I snuck out. I washed my hands first because got OCD. And he was at the urinal leaning across and talking on his cell phone. So the bottom line was the guy was definitely an endangerment. He should have been locked up, and I should have called. The police. And it was funny because when I left, I saw the guy that I knew as supervisor or as the manager who now works at Champs, and I was ready to tell him, "Listen, you need to call the cops," and I didn't. I didn't want to upset him, but I was really upset. So that was an interesting case. I tell you though, if that happens again, I will call the police if I have another incident like that with some idiot who tries to attack me. And the reason I'm bringing it up, though, because it'll come up later on, is there's another story where I don't think I put it in my mix. I don't know why I didn't. About another school teacher out in California who got caught multiple times having sex with 13-year-olds, and they just kind of brush it off every time. But then, if I can find it, because my mix is mixed up. My mix is mixed up, and I'm not even kidding. yeah, I didn't put that in the mix. But then there's a story like on the opposite side of the spectrum. My friend had sent to me, Todd, video takedown of a suspect child predator in New Nun Hotel. And this was in somewhere in Georgia, where they basically, the police come in with guns and like they come in with like full force into a hotel where a suspected guy, Ryan I can't say it, Sandaya, 25, they basically had taken him down. They had guns, told him to go to the floor because the man was ready to engage with a sexual meetup with a 12-year-old little girl. So, yeah, that is wrong. That is truly wrong. They took this guy down like he had guns on him. He actually has a state college or some type of college sweatshirt on, and he was a Caucasian, but they bring him down like this man was like extremely dangerous. Yeah, he's, having a sexual hookup with a 12-year-old he probably met online, but they treat that more serious, though, than this case that a friend had sent to me tonight with a school teacher who had multiple sexual relationships with underage kids and of the same age. So where am I going with that? Well, again, if it's something happening to a female or some type of minority, it just kind of gets. Yeah, here it is, the other story. So I'll read that real quick. That was from the Daily News. A friend had sent it to me. Third teacher from same Louisiana school busted for sex with students after female teen fesses up. So I apologize. I thought it was the West Coast. It was actually Louisiana. A Louisiana teacher faces charges for a year-long relationship with a 16-year-old female student, police said, in St. Charles Parish. So I was wrong about the age, but the point is that gets treated like it's swept under the rug eventually, very quickly. But then the case with this kid, which there's been school teachers who have had sex with kids younger than 12. Even infants that were females, and they literally get a slap on the wrist. Now, if you're a guy, they literally came in with guns blazing on this kid, or this guy, 25. And they took that extremely serious. So, there's different cases. Now, the one, because I'm reading through this article, these sex scandals with the teachers, one was where this woman, I guess, had sex of a child at the age of 10. So, there you go. But did you think they came in with guns? Were these school teachers blazing at them? No, they definitely did that with this guy. That story I just read. So, what is that telling you? There is definitely a double standard. Now, how does this kind of fit into what I just said? Well, if something happened to me and I got shot, I hate to tell you, or I got beaten up from this guy, and I'm in there with my pants down, doing my business at a place, who would have been the one who would have been held as the guilty party? Me or that person who would have beaten the shit out of me when I'm trying to do my business, minding my own business? And I actually didn't even want to go out on Saturday night. I didn't mind going out because it was my friend. Well, I hate to tell you, it would have been on me. It would have been my fault. So somehow it would have just escalated back to me, because I always hear that when something goes wrong, okay, what did you do to instigate this person? I didn't do anything. I mind my own fucking business. And when you have these stories, though, with these teachers or with these people who are just got these sexual perversions with kids, if it's truly a female, it just gets literally just swept under the fucking rug. And if it's a guy, they came in with guns blazing. I'm not even kidding. You can find those stories. I have all this stuff on my Facebook page. So, yeah, that kind of really stirred me up. And that's one of those stories, by the way, in case you haven't caught wind of it that I basically go in multiple directions. But I am trying to make a statement just on comparing her late. Let me just unlock my computer. Oops. Sorry about that. Got to do it again. I'm sorry, I'm having some dead space now because my password didn't go in. Yeah, I mean, it drives me nuts. I mean, we live in a world that's literally an oversized circus, and nothing's changing. I mean, that's why I question even of all these, all of a sudden, all these people dying of cancer. Maybe this is a way of God lifting the good people off the planet before the true chaos and the end of the world actually comes. That's what I actually am starting to believe. Anyway, I have another interesting story that Todd sent me from PIX11 once again. Actually, I did read that one. So, hey, I don't have to read it. It was about the intruder in North Carolina. I'm sorry. It just gets me started with some of these idiots. And trust me, I don't justify adults having sex with children, but the fact is you should be the cases against these people should be treated the same. I don't care if you're a man, a woman, or a fucking transgender. The cases should be all treated exactly the same. Treating one case differently from another and justifying one and prosecuting another case that are done of equal just because the sex was different, you should treat it differently, is total bullshit. If you're a man or a woman having sex with, which I said, a school teacher having sex with a female teacher having sex with a 10-year-old, a 33-year-old woman having sex with a 10-year-old, should be treated equally the same as that story I read where a guy hooked up, probably on the internet most likely, at a hotel with a 12-year-old with the intentions of having sex. So the only difference is the one story with the guy who was 25 trying to have sex with a 12-year-old, the cops came in fully with their guns pointed out with the intentions of shooting the guy down at the hotel. And that's a problem too. What if I was in that lobby when they came in after that guy? I would have been an innocent bystander shot because of some loose cannons going after, just to be chivalrous, going after some guy who was going to have some sexual intercourse with a 12-year-old. But then they just give a simple slap on the wrist for a female who's a school teacher, a person in authority. And this was the third case in Louisiana, case that was presented with a school teacher, female-wise, having sex with an underage student. One, like I said, was I think 16 or 17, but then the other case was with separate teachers with a 10-year-old. But that just gets a slap on the wrist. You don't get the guns blazing out with that one. So that's total bullshit. I'm sorry. Anyway, I got to lighten this up. So here's a good story to lighten up the mood. TheBestCatPage.com. A heartwarming story, to say the least. Mother cat runs into burning building 5 times to save her kittens. On March 30th, 1996. Where did they get this one from? Or where did I get it from? Scarlett and her 5 kittens were in an abandoned garage, which was allegedly used as a crack house in Brooklyn when fire started. The New York City Fire Department responded to a call about a fire and extinguished it quickly. When the fire was under control, one of the firefighters on the scene, David Giannelli, noticed Scarlett carrying her kittens one by one away from the garage. Scarlett herself had been severely burned in the process of running into the fire so many times to save her babies. Now, the reason I brought this up, because this story actually was just posted somewhere on Facebook, just tonight. So, some reason they brought it up again. There's a little bit more if you would like to read it. I just kind of give the highlights of the stories. It just got to me because this cat is beyond burned. It looks like a crispy kitty. And So, yeah, it just, like, for some reason I brought this up. Let's see. Notice that Scarlett was carrying her kittens. Scarlett herself had been severely burned on the process of running into the fire so many times to save her babies that her eyes were completely blistered shut, her ears and paws were burned, and her coat highly singed. The majority of her facial hair has been burned off. After saving her kittens, it was noted that she touched each of her kittens with her nose to ensure they were all there and all alive. She wasn't even able to see them at the time as the blisters on her eyes made it impossible. She then collapsed unconscious once she determined her kittens were safe and sound. Scarlett and her entire family, this is the cat, were taken to a veterinary clinic at the North Shore Animal League in Port Washington, New York, where they were all treated. The weakest of the kittens, a white-coated, died shortly after from a virus a mouth after the fire. Oh, I'm sorry, a virus a month after the fire. However, after 3 months of treatment and recovery, Scarlett and her surviving kittens were all well enough to be adopted, during which time one of the staff of the clinic stated that Scarlett was spoiled rotten and treated like a queen. So it says on October 15th, 2008, Scarlett the cat, whose story of bravery and uncompromising love and triumph over all odds, passed on. So, because I forgot about that. Cats can live for a very long time. So that's why they brought this, I guess, up, even though that was a few years ago, too. The heroine, Calico, who in 1996 made headlines around the world for pulling her 5 kittens to safety from a raging fire, lost her battle with multiple illnesses this week. Well, it says this week after living with her adoptive family in Brooklyn, New York for over 12 years. It's a story which never gets old. We love Scarlett. Watched a video about Scarlett. So there's a video about Scarlett, and she healed most of the way, though. So when was the story posted, though? I'm trying to see if it actually has the original, mark on when it was posted. Which somebody actually must have seen it, and they just kind of brought this story up just because it was kind of definitely a very heartwarming story, to say the least. So it did have pretty much a happy ending, but the poor cat died of old age. This was an interesting story. My next one, Daily Mail. It says Turkestan, I guess, bans all cigarettes, holds mass burning to bid stamp out habit. I tell you, I wish if the Turkish would do that we would do it too. I'd love to see cigarettes go by the wayside. Cigarettes burned in Turkestan as president cracks down on smoking. State television showed images of cigarettes being shoveled into a stove. Smoking is illegal in the Central Asian nation, but strongly discouraged. Smoking is illegal in the Central Asian nation, but strongly discouraged. Whatever, that's what the bullet point says. Traders have said authorities force shops to stop selling cigarettes. It looks like, I thought it was Turkestan, but it's like Turkmenistan or something. I've never even heard of that. Anyway, hey, I'm all for this story. Yeah, if you want to kind of decipher what I really fucked up, this was on Daily Mail. That was actually just posted yesterday. So yeah, I was just kind of impressed that they show the actual stoves. They took all these cigarettes, and it's illegal to smoke now in that country. I don't know how you pronounce it correctly, but I thought that was pretty cool because I don't like smoking. I've never smoked, so I don't care. Hey, it's up, so I'm going to read this next one I have. Oh, wow. There's something else I got to read. Epic Stream. Disney to release original unaltered cut of Star Wars trilogy on Blu-ray. This is an older article that got resurfaced again, but guess what? There is no fucking date for that, so there you go. I read that story in one sentence. It's another one of those things, hey, they're going to be releasing Star Wars on Blu-ray for the first time, unedited, from Lucas, destroying the first original 3 movies that were put out in 77 or 78, I can't remember. And then they say, well, we don't know when it's going to be released. We have no idea at all. So it was a waste of space for even an article, but I had to read it. But here's one on Epic Stream that's kind of interesting. Fans sign petition to bring Judge Dredd back as a TV series. There's basically a petition going around to get a sequel made for the 2012 Dredd movie, but the focus on the petition has changed now, and they want the story in the last film to continue on TV. Excuse me, I gotta grab something to drink. So, for those who love Judge Dredd, there was a petition signed a while back. Actually, it was on January 16th, as this article was posted on Epic Stream. For those who don't know, Judge Dredd actually is, if I remember, because my one friend Trevor, he's technically British and Polish. His mother was from England, and he obviously went back and forth from England to the U.S., and that's how he found about Judge Dredd. Because basically, if I remember correctly, Judge Dredd is technically a British comic, because I never heard of it. Of course, I never heard a lot of things when it comes to these superheroes or these kind of really bizarre comic graphic novel things. This was one of them. My one friend Trevor, though, he loved Judge Dredd. He could not. Years ago, I had taken him to see the movie that Stallone did, and I actually apologized afterwards because the movie was so bad. It was horrendous, and he was obviously really disappointed because he was a big fan of the graphic novel, the comic book, and the movie had nothing to do with it. Now, the Judge Dredd they did in 2012 was excellent because they actually made it the way it was supposed to be shown, but now they got people that would love to see the series continue in some format as a TV show, to say the least. Anyway, hey, I got a different story now, and I don't know where I find these stories, but I do find them, entertainment.ie, and that's actually what it is, not .net, .com, but IE. Fox News anchor Bill O'Reilly is coming here if Bernie Sanders is elected U.S. president. He's going to basically threaten to leave the country. Yeah, I don't blame him on that one. The ultra-conservative Bill O'Reilly basically said, who hosts the Bill O'Reilly show, he's now become B-World for blowhard, over-the-top Republican commissioners that basically shout until they gather, okay, I know all this stuff, I don't give a rat's ass. Anyway, during a recent segment, his program about Democrat hopeful Bernie Sanders, who apparently is actually being very successful of beating Hillary Clinton, which is kind of funny. The Democrats don't even want Hillary, and she was up for a chance to getting that, being put in for the Democratic Party as the person running for president. Sorry, I keep on drinking something so I can clear my throat. But anyway, reading it once again, during a recent segment in his program on Bill O'Reilly about Democrat hopeful Bernie Sanders' health care plan, Bill O'Reilly made a statement that set fear into the hearts of Irish men and women. If Bernie Sanders gets elected president, I'm fleeing, I'm going to Ireland, and they already know it. So I love Bill O'Reilly. I mean, I know the man's kind of a loose cannon, but hey, he speaks his mind. I respect that. Sorry, I'm shaking whatever I'm drinking. It's like one of these protein drinks. Didn't think it's going to come up on the mic. So that's me being hero of the stupid. So I apologize. Yeah, I can hear that noise now. So, hey, I agree with him. I don't, but honestly, I think we have a better shot if Bernie Sanders would run on the Democratic ticket ballot than we would with Hillary Clinton. So, from my perspective, yeah, I'd like to see Bernie Sanders run for the Democrat Party, because then I know we have a better chance of getting a Republican back in office, more so than we do with Hillary, because we do have definitely too many not very bright people out in the U.S., and that's a given. That's not like, oh, that's not true. You're just being hard on people. You don't know. We got some very well-educated people. Well, you know what? No offense. Judging by what my friend Matt said, because he is a very smart man, but he basically kind of said in an indirect way that there's people who pass and get like passing grades, and actually probably higher than passing grades, for doing absolutely nothing, and basically are like about they're what's that old saying, dumber than a bag of rocks, but yet they can get like an excellent GPA. Well, that being said, there is a lot of stupid people out there, for number one. And number two, if I went back to college, I wouldn't doubt it wouldn't be that hard for me to get a perfect 4.0 and not even exerting any type of effort into it. So that's just the way our society is. So going back, yeah, I'd rather see Bernie Sanders get the ticket ballot for the Democrats, because we definitely stand a chance. Because people would be too afraid to vote for, I guess, quote unquote, an old man. Basically his man who's got one foot in the grave practically. Which, hey, I don't have a problem with it, because I know he'll lose that way. In my opinion. Not saying that, what do you call it? Hillary's haggard too, but you got everybody who, the woman Hillary, who is now all of a sudden on the side of the war on women, who is the same woman who calls women bimbos, is now being well respected. So that being said, we wouldn't stand it. It would be very difficult for us to, get back the House and this, or basically get somebody from the Republican side back in office if we have her running. It's going to be a challenge, and I'll agree. Matt kind of said something on that line. My friend Matt, that could happen if she actually got the ticket, that she probably would take it all the way home. So, in so many words or less. So that being said, yeah. So anyway, Daily Mail, and again, going on my I don't want to call it a conspiracy theory, but it's something that God's actually on the mission to take the good people off the face of the planet before total chaos begins to erupt. It was on a Daily Mail where, sorry, I'm just doing this again. Celine Dion's brother Daniel dies from cancer at the age of 59, just 2 days after the singer's husband passed away from the same disease. So I don't know, again, a lot of cancer people dying, celebrities. Celine Dion's brother died on Saturday after losing his battle of cancer. Daniel Dion, 59, had been suffering from brain, tongue, and throat cancer. That's horrible. That poor man. Daniel was in the hospital in the singer's native Montreal with family by his side. Celine's sister, Claudette, said that on Friday that he had a matter of days or hours to live. Now, I like Celine Dion. I'm not much for her singing. I don't think she's that bad looking of a woman. I know people pick on her a lot. My only issue with her was, why did she marry some man that was like over twice her age? I mean, that just did not make any sense at all. That's beyond father figure. The man she married, that's like grandfather figure. And she's like very talented. Like, again, I don't like her music, but some of it I can deal with. But it's just the fact, why do you marry somebody? I mean, I hate to say this, so old. I mean, that man had one foot in the grave when she married him. I hate to say that. I know it was her manager, and that's awful for me to say, I know. Anyway, I thought I posted this, but it was on Daily Mail. I actually went that far with the Kylo Ren thing, and I'm trying to look for it now because now I don't see it. The skit that they did, I thought it was really funny. That's why I gotta like dig it up somewhere. So at least I can get it from this source. I'm gonna have to watch this again because honestly, I thought it was really funny. That actor, I did not like him. I did watch part of the season 1 of Girls, the guy who plays Kylo Ren, and he actually, it helped him doing Star Wars. They're kind of speculating. I think I already pulled it down, but they were doing a speculation on the character of Kylo Ren. If in the next 2 storylines, the next 2 movies, if he's going to get like darker and more like Darth Vader. He actually got scarred a little bit in this present movie. And also, I kind of thought the same thing, that he might have pulled some of the remains of Darth Vader's helmet to make a helmet. He made his own helmet, but he was using parts of the remains that did not get burned from, Anakin Skywalker's or Darth Vader's. So there was some speculation. Anyway, this whole thing about, Undercover Boss was, I'll have to give it credit because I think it was on Saturday Night Live is my guess. I don't know. Yeah, it says SNL, but it was actually really funny. I'm going to have to see if I can dig that one up for the full episode because he was really good. And anything that's actually funny and entertaining, I'm there all over it. And you have to actually have seen Star Wars to enjoy the inside butt jokes that he does, or at least understand Star Wars in general. Anyway, it says Kylo Ren learns how the stormtroopers live for undercover boss Starkiller base on SNL. And, again, you can see it. I have it on my Facebook, that skit, but I want to see if there was more. But, they did a really good job. Star Wars The Force Awakens actor Adam Driver hosted this week's SNL. The show writer merged Driver's dark and sullen Star Wars character Kylo Ren with CBS reality show Undercover Boss for a hilarious skit, which it really was. Kylo Ren goes undercover among Starkiller base... I'm starting to laugh thinking about it. Base employees as... I can't help but keep on laughing inside. It's like coming out as a radar technician named Matt. So, Matt, if you're listening to this, if you like that kind of plain, very dry humor, it is all over this skit. But when he tries to reveal he's been undercover as Matt, all of the employees reveal that they already knew that it was him all along, the character of Kylo Ren. So they get a couple of the people, from Saturday Night Live to play stormtroopers, and they're trying to make it like one of these reality situations on something that's equivalent to the new type of Death Star or whatever, the new villains layout, whatever you call it. And they did a really good job, but it does look like a reality show the way they placed it together. And he goes in where they put on the character Kylo Ren, because his hair is dark, a blonde wig, those big, huge glasses that something you expect an older guy to wear, like he's supposed to be in disguise. And I think he did a really good job. I'm still laughing about it. I really am. I'm not even joking about it. I thought it was no puns intended. I thought it was funny. So, yeah, I definitely would say, hey, just check that out. Yeah, somebody actually liked it. I posted it. It's under Trailer Addict. This is a classic Star Wars. Kylo Ren becomes undercover boss on Starkiller base. I'm going to have to look at it on, because you can buy individual episodes of Saturday Night Live. That one was really funny. But somebody actually really liked it. It's this one guy named Mac, as in Mac Computer. Max Salisbury liked my my post, and this guy's like from England, so that liked it. So hey, that actually impressed me. Anyway, I remember I talked about last night yesterday the story about a woman creates GoFundMe campaign to be reimbursed money that she spent on the Powerball, the hot-looking African American woman. That thing is like they're justifying it now on Fox News. They're not putting her down. They're giving her a courageous article on this woman, Cinnamon Nicole from Cordova, from Tennessee. Basically, she raised, it said, over $800 in 7 hours on GoFundMe. And you know what? That kind of made me lose a little respect for, no offense, for Fox News, where they're justifying hey, this poor woman, she had no money. She's not even trying to work. She's trying to get, take the easy way out. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've said this a million times on yesterday's show. She's really hot looking, but that doesn't justify her asking for money when she's being really just irresponsible. That's bullshit. So, that really just got under my skin. Oh, by the way, this is like my... I got two last stories. I was actually going to post them at the beginning of the show. Now I'm actually doing them at the end of the show. I don't know if you have that in your area, but in Philadelphia, you have to have cable. They say you don't, but you do, to get this channel called Memorable Entertainment Me TV. It's really good because it shows all these different shows. On Saturday nights, it's called Super Sci-Fi Saturday. They show all the classic TV shows of superheroes back from the 70s. And then they have this guy, Singuli. And they had a brand new show on tonight, a brand new episode. He's kind of like, he shows all those bad horror movies and stuff. So he had a brand new show on tonight. It was marked 2016, so he just did it. It was a brand new one because they show a lot of older ones on Me TV. Me TV doesn't really show anything that's brand new. Well, Singuli, he shows old movies, but his little twist on, around us, there was something called Dr. Shock, and some other people that host these different, showing bad horror movies. Well, Singuli does that. This guy, he's all right, but he showed this movie called King Kong Escapes. Now, that came out in 1967. That is the year I was born. And it was, it's basically, they said, I think I actually looked it up, they actually did talk about it. I think Singuli talked about it. He did. He talks a little bit about the backstory on these stuff, behind the scenes. It was one Japanese film that it was the same people who also brought you the Godzilla movies. And he said, they actually got the same guys to make the costumes, the men in the zipper suits, as I call them. So he actually showed tonight King Kong Escapes. It came out in 1967. Had some hot-looking women there, a couple of them, Asian women. But it says, King Kong is brought in by an evil ruler to dig for precious gems in a mine when the robot bot Megacon is unable to do the task. Now, here, get this. The thing that got to me on this was not the hot Asian chicks, but the thing that got to me, there is a character in here, which I'm not going to pronounce this actor's name, who plays a character called, this is no joke, Doctor Who. So the villain is not Dr. No. Sorry, I just bumped my mic. It's not Dr. No. No, it's Doctor Who. So I thought that was funny. I was like, am I hearing this correctly? A villain who's called Doctor Who? He's kind of like the premise of this Asian actor was supposed to be like Dr. No, but they call him Doctor Who. It's like, there's a copyright on that name. No offense. They probably didn't realize this back in 67 because Doctor Who was on from 63. So it was pretty funny to hear that name. And the thing that really got to me, because I have this I have this obsession about teeth. And the actor looked like he had a great set of, dentures on the top of his mouth, literally. But the bottom of his mouth, his teeth weren't there. They were all fucked up. It looked like something from like that movie, The Dentist, where after the dentist pulls out, the teeth of the victims, it looked like that on the bottom of his mouth. This guy, they probably, what it is, I'm sure they get the actor probably, to get his teeth that bad, probably probably used a lot of chewing tobacco or something, because his teeth were literally on the bottom of his mouth. Like probably if he had dentures, they must have fell out during the filming of this movie, so they just kind of let it go. So he had like great looking teeth on the top of his mouth, and the bottom of his mouth looked like something from a really bad horror movie. I'm sorry, I just redlined one spot, so I'm going to have to check that out later on. So it might be like, wow, you really hit a high note. Well, I did on my show. I don't think I could do that. So yeah, it's something I think actually Netflix has. It's only 96 minutes. It was 1967, the year I was born, so it's going to be turning 49 years old, because I know that. And it was rated G. Actually, because it was Sci-Fi Night on MeTV, they brought something up which actually caught my attention. I'm checking, make sure I don't redline anymore. And they had another show I loved growing up. I mean, they were reruns, trust me. I wasn't around when that first came on. Was Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. And they had an episode, because I read, and it was the black and white ones, where Yvonne Craig played in one episode. And trust me, Yvonne Craig is like, to me, she was really hot. We lost her just this past year. She died. But Yvonne Craig is best known as Batgirl. But yeah, she played like even those bikini type movies years ago. But yeah, Yvonne Craig was like really hot. I kind of regret not seeing her. But she'd be one person I would have loved to meet, but it's not going to happen anymore. I'll tell you that much. It says she was actually in Land of the Giants too. I'm trying to look for her on Voyage to the Bottom Sea, because I did have it up earlier. Because you're talking to older shows. Anyway, sorry. Keep on bumping. I'm going to have some redlining again. But yeah, Yvonne Craig, yeah, here we go. Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea TV series. She played a character called Carol in 1964. And yeah, she was like really hot. She was born in 1937 in Illinois, and she just recently died August 17th of 2015 at the age of 78. I can't say enough, because I have a love Jones for Yvonne Craig, and I was actually a little bit heartbroken to see that she passed away. She was 78, but hey, my parents aren't too far off, and I don't even want to think about that. So everyone, hope you enjoyed my show. I think I said enough for tonight, and I'm going to look for that red line I just did. So anyway, just to let you know, I am doing it on my Apple, not my Apple. I'm actually set it up on a separate table, a table mate 2 to be precise. The laptop for my PC Star Wars laptop, because the sound quality did sound better, so I figure I'm going to stick with that. And I sourced all my stories, or the stories I read, I had those placed on my Apple computer. I have the best one I still like is the ones they don't make anymore, the cheese grater one, the very last one they put out almost, technically. So, everyone, I hope you enjoyed my show. Again, I'm signing off, and thanks for listening if you do. This is iWalter on Sunday at 4:13 at this point on January 17th, 2016. And thank you for the people in France that listened to me, or the person who did. Alrighty. Good morning.